back, and McMahon has got in centre half, and Davy Hart has also switched wings.
As James Lavery gets first possession here, an opportunity to set up a first attack with Brian Mallon. Nicely held on to here by Kevin O'Rourke on his debut. Beautifully played back in towards Mallon. Great scoring opportunity, and he knocks it over the bar, and he's done so inside 17 seconds. What a great start by Armagh. Brian Mallon. Well, he started that move, take the pass, back out as far as Barry Shannon. Aaron Kernan now looks up, see where Lavery is. Lavery's moving. Chasing after him is Kevin Hughes. Down as far as Martin O'Rourke. Back towards James Lavery, the 23-year-old student. Still moving forward, going past Squamley and putting this one over the bar. Good point for Armagh, for James Lavery. You didn't feel that he had the necessary pace to go by, but he's deceptively fast, held onto it brilliantly, and scored the second point of the match here for Armagh. I thought the Tyrone backs would surely pin a tackle on him here, but they were just unable to catch up with him, and Lavery struck it beautifully.
Yes, a wonderful piece of very powerful running that time by Lavery.
Was committed by Aaron Kernan, and he's got a little ticking as the ball is kicked over the bar. And Stephen O'Neill has his first point in this year's championship, and it's 2 points to 1. So good in the air, alongside Kieran Toner. How they miss Paul McGrain, but he's one of those who's retired from the game. In as far as Ronan Clark, tries to take it past PJ Quinn and succeeds. In fact, it's Kevin O'Rourke. O'Rourke looking for a support player. It's MacDonald, and MacDonald slips it over the bar. First point of the day for Stevie MacDonald. 3 points to 1. Peter MacDonald's team ahead in this match. His namesake Stevie from Kalibi getting it. Davy Hart trying to push it forward. That was a no-nonsense clearance by Kieran McKeever. Picked up here by Ryan McMenamin, wanting to get more involved in the game. Justin McMahon on as far as Tommy McGuigan. McMahon is up there, just ahead of him, waiting for a pass to come his way. It comes to Sean Kavanagh instead, looking for his first point of the match, and the white flag is raised. And Sean Kavanagh, last year's Footballer of the Year, gets his first score in this year's Ulster Championship, and it's 3 points to 2. Great score.
Yeah, again, this was taken from distance. Again, the build-up again up along the wing. Kavanagh just moving out to the side here, gets the ball, just shoots inside, just doesn't even look, just instinctively knows where the posts are and shoots a wonderful point that, it must be said, Tyrone badly needed.
It's so typical that
pull the boot across the ball. I've often seen them given the
well,
other
it
way.
is technically against the rules, but you'd question what the goalkeeper was doing, especially if Armagh lose this game by a point. Well, this is going to be put over the bar, and is put over the bar by Tommy McGuigan. Kicking it with the
really be upset at not getting more than 3 scores in 28 minutes with that win behind them.
Well, they should be. It's Joe McMahon who's taken over the kicking duties, and Joe McMahon shows Stevie O'Neill how to do it, putting his first over the bar from 45 metres, and Tyrone leading the game for the first time by 4 points to 3. And I'm sure Mickey Hart and Tony Donnelly are saying that is a bit more like it. They should be much further ahead, but only this is booted out here as far as Justin McMahon, playing today on the half-back line. O'Rourke's after him. Don't think he can keep up with him. The younger player against the old master, and the younger player is showing how it might be done and must be done. And that's a dangerous ball in, and Penrose was there, and it just got a little deflection, and it's gone for another 45, third of the first half. Tyrone's free kick. Sorry, Martin.
Yeah, just a point we made beforehand. We were looking at Ronan Clark and Sean Kavanagh to inspire, but neither player has been in the game up to now.
Not so far. Early days. That's Davy Hart. Oh, this is brilliantly contained by O'Neill. Oh, yes! Stephen O'Neill marks his return to the championship in Ulster with a goal coming in the 32nd minute. Beautifully, calmly dispatched by Stephen O'Neill. It is his 8th goal in championship football. What about this for a pass in? Davy Hart finding O'Neill, going this way and that with Andy Mallon, and in the end calmly slipping it under the falling body of Paul Hearty, and it is now 1.
Quite a pasting in general play throughout the half.
Armagh once again at the receiving end here, as Sean Kavanagh has this great opportunity of slipping it over the bar. Should be an easy one, and it is. Second for the man from Moy. 2 shots at the target, 2 points for Sean Kavanagh, and it's now 1-5 to 3 points. And the All-Ireland champions are now looking the business, having kicked 8 wides earlier on. There was no mistake here. Sean Kavanagh looked superb, and that was a wonderfully...
Kenny, thank you very much for the moment. Back here in studio we have Pat Spillane and Colm O'Rourke. Colm, Ger said just a moment ago there that Tyrone were by far the better team. No argument about that so far.
No, and it's a game too. It's a proper game of championship football. Yeah. It's manly, it's honest. Players are going for the ball. There's no messing around, and I suppose it's a very sensible refereeing too. Players with respect for each other and getting on with it. I think Tyrone are sending out a clear message here that they are back in business. The only thing that's been lacking has been their shooting, but they've swarmed all over Armagh. The longer it's gone on, the more dominant they've become. And, you know, the scoreline doesn't really reflect that dominance.
No, as Colm said there, Pat, had their shooting been a bit more accurate, they could be out the gate by now.
Yeah, they could have been. I mean, a 20% return from shots at goal is very poor for the All-Ireland champions. But look, you know, it's a bit of like getting rid of dirty petrol, isn't it? You know, they're marching along in second gear. They're comfortably ahead. They will be disappointed with the missed chances. Like I said, can I just repeat what Colm said? I mean, it's a tough, hard, fair championship game, well refereed, and we're talking about it for all the right reasons. Quality-wise, only so. I thought, particularly from Armagh, a lot of poor passing, a lot of poor shot selection from both teams. So quality isn't exactly top notch, but we can.
But enjoyable nonetheless.
Enjoyable, yes.
Yeah. All right, lads. Thanks for the moment. We're headed for a commercial break here on the programme. We're back with more from Colm and Pat right after that.
What Armagh's attacking option was going to be. It's the 2 boys inside McDonald and Clark. That's plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And the scoring threat will
not come. And it ain't working.
And well, it's predictable. And it's very easy to defend against a predictable attack. And like Armagh have a reasonably good defensive setup in place. For 30 minutes, you know, it was quite effective. But they just don't have a clue after that. I mean, it's slow, it's ponderous build-up. And a slow, ponderous build-up means that Tyrone's defenders are back to cover in front of the 2 boys, and when
they're in their comfort zone with that kind of play.
When Armagh eventually get the ball up and decide to kick the ball to the 2 boys, McDonald and Clark, they're being well covered, and the attack is snuffed out. So no, there's no plan at all there.
You felt, Colm, that there was a Tyrone goal coming in this first half, and of course it did come, and what a goal.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They missed a couple of earlier chances, but Davy Hart balloons in the ball there, no doubt about it, he was going for a point. But the quick hands of O'Neill, takes the ball under control, you know, puts up one hand, grabs it, has it in straight away. Now, I thought he'd missed the boat when he doubled back. He got onto his strong left foot. Maybe took plenty of steps too, but again, he was looking for the low shot into the corner of the net. Paul Hearty had done very well up to that with a couple of other chances, but you know, O'Neill is back in business. He's a huge asset to the Tyrone team. He sort of balances out the loss of Brian Dooher.
He's one of these players, Pat, that, you know, he's obviously a fantastic player. He seems to be injured. You think you're going to lose him for the season, as we thought during the league campaign, and then he's back and he bounces back as good as ever.
But he's a class forward. He has a great brain. He has quick hands. He can kick with left and right, and he does what should be the primary function of any forward. The minute he gets the ball, he's looking to score a point or a goal, and that was a forward's instinct there. He had nothing else in mind. He wasn't looking for a support player. Brilliant goal. I would maybe question here to you, goalies shouldn't be beaten on the near post side, so you would question the goalkeeper's angles, but wonderful goal.
Tyrone could have had another couple of goals, I said a moment ago. We're going to have a look at 2 good chances they had there.
They kicked a lot of handy ball into Paul Hearty. The one way you have to beat Tyrone is the minute you lose possession, you've got to mark them man to man. If they get an extra man, they'll destroy you. Here you have McGinley coming through from midfield. The final pass was poor, and that's what cost them a goal. But
and here's some run, Colm, by the full back.
Yeah, Joe McMahon, or Justin McMahon, and Joe McMahon, I think, has been brilliant so far from Tyrone. You could see there.
Martin O'Rourke wasn't able
to get it, but Penrose probably the smallest player on the pitch against Paul Hearty, who's a very big goalie. He's about 6'5", the Armagh goalie, and he wins it. But again, you know, they're putting the ball in there, making forwards fight for it. Tyrone all over the place are working really hard. You know, that work ethic that they have all the time is alive and well. They've lost none of that. They've lost a bit of sharpness maybe on just converting chances. But the system of play, everything about them, their hunger, their willingness to run for each other, that's all there. They're breaking out of defence quickly. And Armagh at this stage, like their 2 midfielders there, Kieran Toner and James Lavery, apart from Lavery getting a point early on, they just haven't been mapped at all in this game.
We've talked, Pat, to you a moment ago about, and you've been talking about the slow build-up from Armagh. You've got to have another look at this. And as usual, like the number of players that Tyrone is, we're well used to this now at this stage, behind the ball.
We've just picked out a few. We know that Armagh play a blanket type, or Tyrone play a blanket type defence. They bring players back. So they have 8 players in a 10-metre area. Now what you do, the way to counteract that is to move the ball quick and long and fast. Yet it's the opposite that Armagh do. They're playing it slow, ponderous. They're playing it into trouble rather than out of trouble. And eventually it leads to a fella just swinging the leg and going for a point.
But if you look at that, there wasn't an Armagh player inside the 20-metre line to give it into.
And it's the same here. It's slow, ponderous. Look, there's 4 Tyrone players bearing down on the Armagh player. He'll pass it again into a fella who's being marked. And that's not the way to play a blanket defence. A blanket defence, playing against a blanket defence, the ball must be moved quick and long. And if there are 5 players converging on one player, that means there are 4 players somewhere else. So you've got to play with the head. You've got to get the head up and move the ball quick and move the ball long and vary the play. But slow upon.
To the goal areas, MacDonald kicks this one and drops it over the bar. Good start to the second half. Big cheer from the Armagh fans. Peter MacDonald will be greatly encouraged by that. 1-5-2, 4 points, so just 4 between them. But that doesn't really tell the true picture of what we've seen so far in this game, where Tyrone have been much the superior force. Not going to be all that terribly easy. Again, Justin McMahon, off he comes here towards Mulligan, and Mulligan pushes this one over the bar. Good kick by Owen Mulligan, his first point of the match. Got confidently behind it, followed it through beautifully. And the first point of the second half for Mickey Hart's. Joe McMahon takes for Tyrone, getting it back from his brother Justin. Here's Philip Jordan. Tommy McGuigan just holding possession. Tyrone just playing the passes confidently around. Owen Mulligan having scored at the other end, all the way in. Here's a great chance into the back of the net, and it's Conor Gormley. In the 40th minute, a second goal for Tyrone, and Conor Gormley, his first ever goal in the championship, playing today for the 47th time for his county. What a great player he's been, and somehow finding himself way up at the other end. Mulligan way back, Gormley in there, such adaptability, but the usual Evan Hughes down as far as Tommy McGuigan. 2-pointed frees, his contribution so far. That one taken away from him. Out once again it comes, this time reaching Martin O'Rourke. Slipped in there towards the 2 men inside forward line. Clark this time wins it, dragged down by Gormley, gets up on his feet again. The referee allows an advantage, a good advantage! Ronan Clark gives Armagh some hope. It comes in the 50th minute. On the day when he is playing for Armagh for the 40th time, he makes it 2-7 to 1-6. And Conor Gormley, whoops, he didn't play that fast. We might see it again. This is the ball reaching the back of the net. But before that, Gormley had fouled him, and the referee allowed the advantage to Armagh. Watch this again. There's the pull down. Now he got back on his feet brilliantly. Great composure again, and he slid it in past the goalkeeper, John Devine. And now Armagh have a chance. Reached him, but it does reach Brian Mallon, and there's still an opportunity to keep the attack alive. Back to Martin O'Rourke, back once again towards Mallon. Mallon kicking and putting it off the post and over the bar. Down to a 2-point game. Brian Mallon second, he got the first of the game, and now he's got the latest. And this is the Ulster Championship football in full flow, providing the thrills and the spills. This is where Clark had gone out there. Well, in fact, this is what happened immediately afterwards. It was back to Mallon. When they didn't get a point from one source, they went to the other side, and it proved very, very fruitful.
Yeah, but the main thing is that it's Ronan Clark's ability to win in the ball.
Them again. And this time he makes it 2-8 to 1-8. Goal and 2 points for Stephen O'Neill. But the teams have certainly whipped up a frenzy here in Clones. Still they build. Jordan slipping it forward. Kavanagh, that's Colm Kavanagh, holding it up for his brother Sean to take it. 45 metres out. 9 minutes left. Place in the semi-final at stake. Brian Dewar has had one shot at the target already, went hopelessly wide. This time soloing forward, looking determined. That's a really well hit point, crisply delivered over the bar. The captain is back. Dooher's first point in Championship 09. That'll delight his manager. He'd have hated fielding in an Ulster Championship match without Brian Dooher. Underlines the value once again here. Confidently took it forward past Lavery. He wasn't going to be hurried. Beat the next attempted block. That's beautifully done.
It's nearly
belted forward again. This time held onto and very securely. Nice looking kick, and that one's gone over the bar. And it's the substitute Stephen Farker who's got it. Or is it? Yeah, Stephen Farker coming in for that one there. So 2-10 to 1-9 the position. Every opportunity to rest. Tyrone have used their full hand now. All 5 subs have been introduced. Meanwhile, it is Kieran Toner. High up into the sky. Racing for it is Ronan Clark. Great goal in the 50th minute, and off he comes again, and this time he was grounded, and this time the referee may well issue another card. And it is Conor Gormley who give the ball away. Colm Kavanagh going forward, no more. That's the end of that. And Tyrone beat Armagh. And Armagh, the champions of 2008, are out of the hunt for the Anglo-Celt Cup. Disappointment for Aidan O'Rourke and all the rest. Tyrone were the better team, there's not much doubt about that. They created 30 scoring chances against 18 for Armagh. And the only rocky spell that Tyrone had was just after Ronan Clark's goal, when they went to goal and 3 Armagh without scoring Tyrone, and closed the gap very, very narrowly at that stage. But it's Tyrone who have gone to the semi-finals, finishing here in Clones with the final score. Tyrone 2 goals and...
Enjoy that, Colm. Tyrone didn't have it all their own way in the second half.
No, fair play to Armagh. They really put it up to them. Tyrone were the better team over the 70 minutes. That's undoubtedly true. But Armagh are going to be a tricky team for anybody in the back door. You know, they were 8 points behind at one time, ended up 2 behind at one time. But Tyrone's best time in most games is their last 10 or 15 minutes, and again they just battened down the hatches, played nice, cool, calm football. The only thing surprising about it was I thought Mickey Hart's decision to leave Conor Gormley on Ronan Clark the second half when Clark was destroying him, and he took off the obvious man to put on Justin McMahon, so that was a surprise. But Tyrone are back. They're much better than they were at this time last year, even though I think that Mulligan and Kevin Hughes are not near the form that they used to be in, so they still have a few problems to solve.
But I suppose, as Pat Spillane described it at half-time, getting out the dirty petrol.
It was, yeah, and I mean, they looked a little bit ahead of this time last year. Certainly, when they went under to down last year, they looked poor, they didn't look sharp. They looked a lot sharper today. It was far from being a vintage performance, even though they were definitely the better team over the 70 minutes. I mean, they will look at problems in the full back line again, and certainly they will look at a half-forward line. All 3 half-forwards were replaced. That meant there were 6 fellas playing the half-forward line for Tyrone today. Not one fella scored from play. Now, credit to Armagh, they will be tricky opponents through the back door, and what they did in the second half, they moved it quick and long and direct into Clark, and that's Armagh at their best, and they were very effective for that 15 or 20 minutes. But like I said, they won't be disappointed today, and it was a game I enjoyed, Michael.
Tyrone got a goal early in the second half. This